Today's episode is brought to you by Patreon. If you're interested in supporting the show, go to patreon.com/Joshua Revelis and become a $2 backer today and get early access to the new episodes. I'll be leaving a link down in the description to the page, but for now, on to today's episode. You're listening to the Augmented Experience podcast. My name is Joshua Revelis. I'm a student, musician, and a gamer at heart. Join me as I sit down with fellow enthusiasts to talk about what's going on in the technology, business, and gaming world. I hope you guys enjoy. Alright everybody, welcome back to the show. My name is Joshua Revelis. I'm your host as usual. And today we got an interesting episode, especially because this is something that's very new that just popped up. And I hope you guys are going to like this one because overall, this is probably the most people that have voted on the poll so far out of all the episodes, polls really. That, especially because today's topic is over something I know a lot of us have, which is Netflix. But not specifically Netflix. We're going to focus on them, I'd say indirectly, essentially. Because the main thing we're focusing on is Disney Plus, which is the new streaming service Disney announced this week. Or more specifically, last week. That it's an interesting case, in my opinion, because the main thing that came to everybody's mind when Disney came out with this new streaming service was, you know, how is Netflix going to respond to this? Especially because, as we all know, as based on last year, realistically, a lot of the Marvel stuff has been leaving Netflix. Obviously, it's staying on Hulu because Disney owns Hulu, but you kind of get the point. Netflix has lost a lot of the popular shows they had related to Marvel. They lost Luke Cage, like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, The Punisher, like all those, and then the Marvel movies as well, and then anything related to Pixar as well because Disney owns Pixar as well. So we kind of run into that situation where it's like, okay, what is Netflix going to be able to do to replace this stuff? But before we get to that, I want us to start with understanding what Disney Plus is first. You know, how much does it cost and what should we expect to be on there realistically? Because there's a huge factor that really got thrown into it at the start of this year that made Disney Plus even more appealing option realistically, which is the merger with Fox. So what is Disney Plus? Disney Plus, like I stated before, is basically Disney's streaming service for basically all their big budget platforms. So Star Wars and Marvel. And then obviously in that realm, they can make, you know, TV shows exclusive to that platform relating to Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, etc. And when it comes to the price, I think this is where it got a lot of people interested realistically. The price starts at $6.99. Obviously, compared to Netflix nowadays, that's a heck of a lot cheaper. Like, I mean, a lot, especially because in May, Netflix is updating. Yeah, they're updating their prices and they're raising it even higher. So the base price, like the basic plan for Netflix that some people have, goes from $7.99 to $8.99. And then the most popular one, which is the one that I have, where it streams at 1080p, that one is going to go from $10.99 all the way to $12.99. And then obviously the 4K option is going to go up from $13.99 to $15.99. So overall, we're seeing on the two bigger plans, like the more popular ones at least, those are going up $2 and then the basic one's going up by $1. But you run into this predicament, especially if you're Netflix, that Disney Plus doesn't have any variation in the prices. It's just $6.99 for streaming at the highest quality. From what we can tell right now, what was announced at the release, or really when they announced it specifically. But this definitely is going to sting Netflix a bit. Because at first, when I was talking to my roommate about it, like, he thought Hulu was going to take a hit. But Disney owns Hulu, and obviously they're not crazy enough. Like, the fact that, like we stated before, they own Fox, which means they also own ESPN now. They essentially can, I'm not going to say make a monopoly, but I would say it almost creates like a grid. Like, you have three options for what you want for your consumer. You have the adult-oriented stuff on Hulu, the kids stuff and more pop culture on Disney Plus, and then sports stuff on ESPN. You have a good trifecta right there. And realistically, Disney Plus, like I said, is going to be more family orientated and pop culture. So you're going to see stuff like Pixar movies, you're going to see like the Avengers movies or anything related to Marvel. So that means Black Panther and all of them, which Black Panther will be on release. So it's going bye-bye on Netflix, sadly. Captain Marvel is going to be on there. Obviously, they're eventually going to put the next Avengers Endgame movie on there, which, trust me, guys, I'm excited for that movie. That movie's going to be fire. But we're going to have that on there. All the Marvel movies are going to be in there so that hopefully when Endgame is over and all of us are done crying, we can go back and watch the movies again, because obviously, I know this is a side topic, but I just wanted to say this. In my honest opinion, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is literally one of the biggest phenomenons in cinema in the last decade. There has been nothing as big as it in the box office. Nothing. There has not been a single movie franchise that has been able to top it in terms of what they're able to do. Like, the fact that it was able to turn a comic book and make it bigger than a movie, which the movie was Star Wars. Star Wars was a movie and then it became a comic book. But a comic book became bigger than a movie. It took nobodies. The Avengers were nobodies, to be honest. If you keep up with comics, they were nobodies. And turned them into some of the biggest pop culture icons of all time. Like, it's a huge deal. And the fact that, since Disney owns them, clearly, because Disney owns Marvel, like, the fact that that's a huge draw on the Disney Plus platform, that you're going to have the Avengers movies, you're going to have all the other movies of all the other characters, you're going to have Star Wars, which already Star Wars is a big following, even though, yes, The Last Jedi was, pretty bad, and then Solo didn't help it either, but you get the point. You already have proven brands on there, and I think this really leads into more of the Fox thing, because the fact that they own Fox, that means that The Simpsons is going to be on there. All 30 seasons of The Simpsons will be on the Disney Plus streaming service. And this is pretty huge for Disney, because The Simpsons is already a long-running show. It's already, like I said, 30 seasons. And it's have proven quality. So the fact that they keep adding more of this proven quality to their brand is helping them out in the long run overall, if you think about it. Like, obviously, yes, we know what that means, that they own Fox. Like, that means they have the rights to the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. So, obviously, we're going to expect them to be on the Disney platform as well. Obviously, now that they own them, they can have a little bit more leeway, because that means they don't need to neuter Deadpool if they want to put him in the MCU, because, if they want to make a movie, they can just put the movie on Hulu, because, like I said, Hulu can be more for the adult content, really. And so we have a good blend there going on. Now, the main thing that everyone's been dying to ask is, how does this affect Netflix? And I hinted at it a bit when I said that proven quality. My concern is that with Netflix, yes, they are making a huge stride in making these basically first-party projects, essentially. Let's call them that. First-party films. You had things like Bird Box, and then you got things like Stranger Things and stuff like that. The problem is that I have with that is, like they were talking about, is that Bright, realistically, that's the movie from Will Smith, the sci-fi cop movie, and 13 Reasons Why, Stranger Things, and then you have stuff like Brie Larson's first movie ever of making a movie, and then you have things like Bird Box. So, when it comes to Bright, if we're breaking down each movie, Bright was terrible. Let's just be honest with ourselves, guys. It was a bad movie. It was. It's just bad. I don't need to give reasons why it's bad. Stranger Things is obviously good. I personally haven't seen it, but I understand the hype behind it, and I understand that, there's a lot of effort put into it. But, so that's a good thing going for them. 13 Reasons Why is another big popular thing that, I'm not going to lie, I haven't seen it, but I understand why people can like it. Bird Box, my opinion, overrated. It's not a good film. There's a lot of, I'd say, logistical flaws with it that I think it's just easier for me to catch out, especially it's not like I kind of spent an entire semester nitpicking movies incredibly hard. And I think that's what kind of made me a little bit more of a harsher critic when it comes to movies. Not because of political reasons, clearly not. To be honest, it's not. It's just you notice these fundamental issues that ruin the experience overall. In my opinion, Bird Box is not good. I understand that it's very popular and it made Netflix a lot of views overall, because it had over 80 million in just, the first month is what they said? But still, as time went by, people were like, it's overrated. And then when we compare it to Disney Plus, you have all the Marvel movies, which are proven quality. You have The Simpsons, proven quality. You have the Star Wars movies, proven quality, even though, yes, we are a little bit more skeptical about it because of The Last Jedi and Solo. You have more proven quality there. And you also have, in my opinion, arguably better writers and better cinematographers behind the scenes, really, because the Russo brothers literally, when they got the reins of the Avengers, boy, they made that, they made those movies great, especially when their first movie was Captain America Winter Soldier, and Captain America Winter Soldier was really good. It was a huge shift in the traditional norm of the Marvel movies. Obviously, you saw a huge increase in quality. Obviously, yes, you had some downturns, clearly. Like, they still were some stumpers. Like, anything's better than Thor Dark World, Captain America, The First Avenger, what else? Iron Man 2 and 3 were bad. Like, you have those, but then you also have masterpieces like the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Then you have things like, obviously, The Avengers, and then Infinity War was beautifully done. You had things like The Winter Soldier, Civil War. Black Panther is a great movie. Overall, I think, in the sense of what it stands for, yes. In a cultural aspect, it is a very important film, and I'd argue it's the most important film of the decade. But if you're talking about a movie, I think it's just a good movie. Like, I say great, but I think good overall is the best. Like, it's a 7 out of 10 at best. Like, there were some parts that were very flimsy and I thought was very bad. But that's also because it kind of falls in the pattern of the Marvel trope of, you know, bad guy beats up good guy, then good guy comes back, beats his butt, wins. Like, we kind of run into that trope a little bit. But like I was saying, there's proven quality there. And I think the main thing that hurts Netflix the most is the fact that if you look at a lot of the big budget things they've worked on, only 2 out of the 5 have been successful. While when you look at Disney Plus's side with everything Disney's packing, it's all proven quality. It all makes big money. And I think that's kind of the problem Netflix is running into, is they're charging more, but they're not delivering. The fact that Netflix is losing its partnership with Marvel is huge, because not only are you missing out on getting more subscriptions because of the Marvel movies, but at the same time, you're not having Marvel shows, you're not having Pixar films at all anymore, and then you're losing a lot in the process, because Disney owns a lot of things. They own Pixar, they own, obviously, Marvel. There's a lot of things that come with that, and I think realistically, Netflix has to figure out how they're going to deal with that. And honestly, I don't know how they can. Like, I'm not going to say Netflix is going to go under, because here's the thing. It's long term is what we need to focus on most. Long term. And when we look at it long term, yes, Netflix overall has already built its brand. It's built itself up. It's already in multiple countries. It translates almost every film on there in multiple languages. You get the point. It's already established. And the thing is with Disney Plus is, yes, it may have the established brands, like the established movies, the established shows. It has all these things going for it, but it still hasn't come out, and it is limited to a degree. And, you know, that's something we have to keep in mind. Do I think Netflix is going to take a hit? Oh, yeah, they will. For sure, they're taking a hit. I'm not going to stand here and say that they're not. Like, if Disney's even saying that they're a little bit worried about ESPN Plus and Hulu, they also said that they probably have a bundle with all 3 of them together, which would be incredibly good, because realistically, if the main people I think that hurt the most from this Disney Plus experience, or really just the announcement of Disney Plus, is Apple's TV Plus is screwed right off the gate. Like, it's a flop right to begin with. Like, the fact that Disney Plus, when they announced it, had trailers for the Mandalorian. It had already confirmed that they were working on the Vision and Wanda show. They had the Loki show already being worked. Like, you get the point. Disney Plus came out the door swinging, and Apple TV Plus overall didn't have anything. They only showed Oprah, Steven Spielberg, J.J. Abrams, and that's pretty much it. Like, we kind of got nothing. They didn't show a single trailer for the show. Oprah just showed up on stage and said, "The future is Apple." And okay, Oprah, who cares? You got anything about your show? They didn't show a single thing. All they showed, they didn't even show the price. And I think that's what overall is going to hurt them a lot. HBO, realistically, the fact that Game of Thrones is ending, they got nothing else. So, boo-hoo. Sorry, HBO. Yeah, you guys are definitely going to hurt a lot. Which, let's be realistic. HBO Showtime is mainly benefiting from Spotify, especially with the student discount. The student discount gives you Hulu and Showtime. Obviously, I think Spotify might end up losing the agreement with Marvel. I don't know, maybe to keep Hulu, but who knows? Probably not. I think Marvel will still allow it, unless if they make, like I said, unless if they go through with the bundle and make Hulu and ESPN Plus together with Disney Plus, then maybe. But you get the point. All the other streaming services, yeah, for sure. Like I said, Showtime and then I forget its name. I literally just said it. And then Apple TV Plus. There we go. They're definitely going to hurt the most, clearly, especially because Showtime, yes. Showtime, I think, definitely will suffer, especially because Game of Thrones is ending. But Game of Thrones obviously is one of the biggest shows on television. I've never seen it, and I probably don't plan on seeing it. And like I said, Apple TV Plus, nothing proven. That's all just smoke. Right now is all we see. And I think one thing we should also take into consideration is Netflix is also struggling a bit because they had to pay a lot of money to keep Friends and The Office on there. And that's another thing is Netflix is heavily relying on these already old shows, which are incredible shows in their own right. I love The Office. I've only seen a couple episodes, but it's great. I haven't seen Friends. My girlfriend loves it. And I know a lot of probably you guys listening love it too. It's already proven quality. The only thing is you can't keep those shows forever. Realistically, like they had to shell out a ton of money to keep them. Like it was in the millions. I think it was like 1 something million. It was like it was a ridiculous number. It was like not a billion. Clearly, they're not spending $1 billion on Friends and them, but it's close to like $1 million to 10 million in that range, if I'm correct. Like they spent a lot of money just to keep those shows on there, and it's crazy because Netflix is going to rely on these already popular shows. Like obviously Breaking Bad's on there. And then you got, The Office, you got Friends. Like, they're losing all the Pixar movies, so no more Toy Story on there. And obviously all the Marvel shows and everything's just going to go straight to Disney Plus and probably Hulu. You got all that stuff going. And that's something we need to keep in mind is that Netflix, if they really want to compete with Disney Plus, they have to make a winner. Like, I get it. Like, it's financial suicide to make a big budget show because Netflix doesn't really have the creative minds to make something big. They really don't. Like all their stuff on there is just old movies and old shows. Like Disney is obviously, yes, Disney is going to have all these old shows and everything. Clearly, like I'm not going to try to say, oh, these guys are doing it, but then these guys are like, you're bashing these people for doing it, but you're not going to bash the other people that are doing the exact same thing. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is overall, there's a difference between, I'd say, proven quality and old shows that people can remember for nostalgia, but they're not really that good. A lot of the stuff Disney's going to put on there is their old animated films, and let's be honest, we know how good the old Disney animated films are. They're master classes of their own. They're cult classics. Words cannot describe how their cultural significance that those films have, like especially when you're talking about the original Aladdin, we're talking about the original Lion King, we're talking about like Beauty and the Beast, we're talking about all these old movies that we remember growing up that already have name draw to themselves. Like Netflix is losing that, guys. Let's be real. You're not keeping the original Aladdin and all of them. You're not. Like all the new, everything that's Disney related and Pixar will go straight to Disney Plus. And the thing is, that's what has Disney swinging for the fences right now because they have all of this proven content. It's ridiculous. And even their shows that they're working on, it's big budget as well. Like Disney has the money. Like if you saw the trailer for The Mandalorian, it looks pretty good. Like, and then Wanda and Vision, obviously, yes, that's big budget. Loki, big budget. Like these aren't small budgets. They're dumping millions and millions in this because they know they're going to get it back. And the Marvel movies, they're already making billions with these movies, guys. Let's be real. The last few Marvel movies have already made billions. Black Panther made millions. Well, billions. It made $1 billion. Infinity War made over $2 billion. Civil War made $1 billion. Avengers Endgame is probably going to beat Avatar's record because, like I said, Endgame is one of the most important films of the decade. So I wouldn't be surprised if it beats Avatar and makes over $3 billion. Like, I hope it does. That'd be awesome. But you get the point. It's all this proven quality that Disney has been playing their cards to their chest because they knew they were going to do this. This is obviously, Disney did this incredibly well. And I'd say it was one of the smartest decisions they could pull. They pulled all of their resources, they pulled it all back in little by little. They let out some things and they didn't let out some. Like, think about it, guys. All the original trilogy and even the prequels of Star Wars will be on Disney Plus. And it's crazy because people really love the original trilogy, and it will be the remastered version, so they're going to look really nice. Obviously, New Hope is a little bit wonky because Disney doesn't really own the rights to make a remastered, but we'll see how that plays out. But you get the point. The originals will be on there. Obviously, The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, at least The Force Awakens is good. Last Jedi, Solo, Like, who knows? They could probably even launch the canceled Kenobi movie on there too. They probably could. Like, I wouldn't hold it against them if they just put it on there, realistically, after the failure of Solo, which basically canceled all the spin-off movies. I know it kind of sucks. Rogue One is going to be on there, which I want to see Rogue One again. The main thing is that Disney is doing well. Netflix, they have to see what they're going to do, because like I said, they're losing all the rights to Marvel movies, so they got to think of something else. The easiest route, DC. Clearly, I think making a deal with DC is probably Netflix's best option overall. And the reason I say this is because, yes, they already have movies like The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, in my opinion, is one of the greatest films ever made. Superhero films, let me add that, because then some people are going to, they're going to get on my butt about that. The Dark Knight is the greatest superhero film ever made. It exceeds standards of excellency in all regards. I would argue it's close to being a perfect film. It's not perfect. There are some very, very nitpicky things that you could have about that movie. But as a whole, the movie is phenomenal. Heath Ledger, God bless his soul, man, did he put a performance in his life. And then obviously Ben Affleck, a lot of people associate him as the best Batman, which, well, not Ben Affleck. What am I talking about? Ben Affleck. God, don't even get me started with Ben Affleck. Christian Bale, that's what we're referring to. But it's crazy because realistically, if Netflix wants to have superheroes, if they want to have animated stuff, I think a deal with DC is phenomenal. I think it would help them out in the long run. I think putting movies like Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Shazam, based on what I'm hearing, Shazam sounds incredible. And it sounds like it's the best DCU movie so far. Obviously, is it going to be better than Dark Knight? Probably not, but who cares? It's still a good movie. I haven't seen it, but I want to see it. And then obviously the DC animated films, putting them on there, oh my lord, would that be beneficial. I think overall that'd be incredible because the DCU films animated specifically, are phenomenal. They've been incredible so far. Obviously they had some stinkers, we're not going to lie. There's some stinkers in there, like The Killing Joke. As much as I don't want to say it was bad. A lot of people hate the Judas Contract, but a lot of the ones involving the Justice League have been really good. They're also bringing back the original Justice League that we remember from Justice League Unlimited. The original voice actor for Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman will be in a movie regarding some new heroes, and it's going to be great because we love those characters so much. That specific Justice League Unlimited era is just so amazing when it comes to superhero. Like, it's incredible. I'd argue in the standards of doing a superhero show, it's the absolute standard. It is peak awesomeness. It explores the DC universe in a good way, introduces a lot of people, meaningful stories, great voice acting, like great character development. There's so much stuff in there. So I think a deal, Netflix, if they could make it with DC, would be phenomenal for them. It would definitely help them out. It would help DC out because that's an extra flow of income coming in. But overall, I don't think Netflix is, dead. I'm not going to go on a limb and say Netflix is dead. Disney killed it. Ugh. No, I'm not going to go that crazy. We're not unrealistic here. Let's be real. But let's not ignore the fact that Disney proposes really a scary threat to Netflix that they haven't had. Like, Netflix isn't scared of Hulu. Like, you think Netflix is scared of Hulu? You're funny. They're not scared of any streaming service, but Disney Plus makes them shit their pants. I know, sorry for the language. I'm very sorry about that. But you get the point. It scares them, and it should, because you have this service that's not only cheaper than your basic plan, and it's streaming. And not only is Disney Plus cheaper than their Netflix's cheapest plan, but it also streams at the highest quality for that price. Like, it's crazy because Disney doesn't really need to make a ton of money. They don't need to charge you a ton for it, which is the funny fact is that they made it so cheap. $7, bro. Like, $7 for all this content is ridiculous. And Disney knows they can make a money off it because they already got your money from buying all the tickets to the Marvel movies and Star Wars movies. They have your money. You've already shown them you're interested in this stuff. And I think that's the thing is, proven quality is going to win overall in a society that cares more about something being good rather than experimenting and hopefully it turns out good. That's the thing is, we live in a society that nobody wants to experiment. We'd rather go with industry standards when it comes to technology, when it comes to working with audio, when it comes to working with, say, computer engineers, that you want to work on a computer and you want to do, say you want to do video editing, you want to do, all these stuff, you want to run a studio, you want to do all these things. There's industry standards in all of them. And people go with the industry standards. Why? Because it's proven quality. Like, yes, can you get defaulty products? Yes, that is true. But those big brands already have reputations built up with customer service and all these things because proven quality. It's an industry standard for a reason. There is a reason people buy Sennheisers and Audio-Technicas over other headphones. Why? Because they're proven quality. There's a reason when it comes to iPhones, people buy iPhones. Like, realistically, yeah, it's proven quality. Apple makes great phones. iMessage is the best messaging app on the planet. Don't at me. It's straight facts. Facts don't care about your feelings. And then, obviously, yeah, the integration with iOS among its products is incredible. It's proven quality. Even though, yes, Apple has made some bad calls. We're not going to lie. They have. Like, the headphone jack removal was a selfish call because it was just to make more money. Let's be real. We knew that was the reason why. Obviously, catching up with water resistance, adding the notch was a horrible call. Like, we're going in that direction that people love proven quality. And Netflix, in my opinion, they're going to take a hit. And it just comes together, really, in my opinion, it just relies on how Netflix responds to this realistically. And I think that's something we need to keep in mind is that, how is Netflix going to respond? Because the fact that Disney placed all its cards on the table, has a full house on the table, how is Netflix going to respond? Are they going to have something that can counter a full house? Like, we don't know. And realistically, only time could tell. I know in the long run, yes, Netflix is still fine because it's in more countries. But the second Disney starts expanding to other countries, starts translating those movies, the second it starts doing all that stuff, I don't know, Netflix. You got your work cut out for you guys. And I only hope that you guys figure out what you're doing because Disney's at your front door knocking, boy, and they're not gonna stop until they kick your front door down, bro, and they take your house. That's essentially what they're gonna do if they're not careful. But overall, that's all I got for you guys for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of you guys voted on the poll, as mentioned before. Like, a lot of you guys voted. That was a huge turnout for the poll, and then it was a clear one-sided discussion on what you guys wanted. I do want to talk about Apple TV Plus a little bit in a later episode, so I'll probably put that in the poll again because it is an interesting thing. I shared some of my opinions about it, and I think going more in depth about it is what will allow us to see more things, specifically more of the services that Apple came out with, like, News Plus and then the Apple Card and, TV Plus, things like that. But I hope you guys overall enjoyed the episode. Thank you guys so much for listening to the show. I know that the show's been doing really well. Like, I have a lot of people listening, downloading. Like, it's crazy. That, in my opinion, it's just crazy. And I hope you guys keep enjoying this stuff and join me along the way. I know we just made an investment and bought more equipment. And I really just hope that, you guys get to enjoy this journey with me. I know that during the summer, hopefully, we'll have the studio, and that's going to be phenomenal when we have it, if I get it, if Lord willing, if it happens. If I have the studio, that's going to be incredible, and I'm just going to enjoy this and savor it all in because I've been blessed incredibly with everything that's happened. So I hope you guys enjoy. I love you guys to death. You guys take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful week. Bye, guys.